people are saying shame, shame, shame during the time when they're voting and throwing tampons. This is childlike behavior. Someone tell me something different. To me, you're having a temper tantrum because you can't get your way. And when kids can't articulate what they're trying to say, they usually fall out and have a temper tantrum. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We have another video of a Democrat, very liberal, senator flips out over a bill. And this bill is to ban sex changes for minors in Nebraska. This is Democratic Senator Kavanaugh, and she flips out for a whole 3 minutes. Now, I'm gonna let you watch this, but warning, this is a long time to flip out. Just like, and she ramps up while she's flipping out.
Senator Kavanaugh, you're recognized to speak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. That's what they're saying out there. They're standing in a circle in the rotunda saying that over and over again. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. You matter. You matter. And I am fighting for you. And I will not stop. I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow. You are loved. You matter. You belong here.
So sorry to torture you guys for 3 minutes. The last 3 minutes. Now, this was a debate. I have several concerns. This person is supposed to be a senator. You might not agree with the bill, but if you have the floor, you should be able to articulate why you oppose the bill that they're proposing. Now, I don't claim to be the sharpest tool in the shed, but that is essentially the way the legislation system works. Someone proposes a bill, it goes to the floor, you could debate on the floor and leave all your talking points of why this bill should not pass. But instead of you leaving reasons, like real reasons why you think the bill shouldn't pass, you spend 3 minutes, 3 whole minutes saying the same thing. You're chanting. If you wanted to be a protester, you shouldn't have signed up to be elected and sit out with the protesters. But you think that, oh, if you scream and shout and chant the same thing over, people are going to be persuaded your way. You have to present your argument in such a way that persuades other people that's in your house to vote your way. That's the whole point of you having the floor. Now, this was Friday morning session in the unicameral Nebraska legislature devolved into chaos after one Democratic lawmaker began shouting her support for transgender people amid a debate on a bill to ban sex change procedures for minors in the state. They're literally debating on the bill to ban the procedure. So you have a chance to present your argument, lay out all the facts, and present it in such a way where your colleagues might say, oh, I never saw it in that light. Let me think about it. Or maybe I do feel like we should have these surgeries for minors. But instead, and you're doing your constituents a disservice when you do this. As a constituent, if I voted someone into office and they go in chanting and not present the arguments of what I feel, if you're supportive for this particular group, you need to come in and present the arguments in such a way that it will persuade other people to vote your way. But you don't have any basis for this. You don't have any valid points, no reasons for children to have a sex change. You're just jumping on this bandwagon. Oh, this is what the Democratic Party does. They're jumping on this bandwagon, so they're going to ride that horse until the wheels fall off. Or the horse breaks his legs, I don't know, into oblivion. We'll say they're going to ride the horse into the oblivion. But right now, you're not doing your constituents any justice. When you come in, you know you got a debate. When you come in and you do this. And now, everybody else, you see the article, everybody else says you're flipping out. You're crazy. You're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because you come in chanting for 3 minutes. The bill, which was ultimately approved by lawmakers, was sent to Republican Governor Jim Pillen's desk to become law. Bans sex change procedures for minors as well as abortions after 12 weeks of pregnancy. And voicing her disapproval to the measure Friday morning, state Democrat Senator Kavanaugh slapped the lectern and repeatedly shouted, "Transgender people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. You matter, and I'm fighting for you. I will not stop," exclaimed Kavanaugh, who displays she/her pronouns on her bio Twitter. "I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow. You are loved. You matter. You belong here." That's not what this bill states. It does not state in this bill that transgender people doesn't matter. This bill just stops you from doing irrevocable harm to minors. That's all the bill is. It's nothing more, nothing less. It does not say transgenders does not matter in this bill. All people matter. So like I said, she did her constituents a disservice. Because if you want to persuade people or have people think of it in a different light, you would come with all the necessary facts and information that they could make an informative decision of whether or not they should ban these procedures for minors. Kavanaugh also railed against conservatives who voted for the hybrid bill, which includes protections for unborn children, warned that medical professionals and businesses will lead the state over it. So she's saying your children are posting things on social media. Your children are calling you. Colleagues, Kavanaugh said, you have to lie with your vote. You have to live with the role that you play in history and making today. You have to live with the fact that you vote to take away people's right. Look, she's using the word live. Isn't it an oxymoron? You're doing the opposite thing of what they're trying to do. They're trying to help people live, but you want to force people to make the wrong decisions and take away a human being from living. So you have to live with the roles that you play, and you have to look back years from now like, oh, this was a very detrimental decision for America. The rest of us have to live with the implication of that, but you have to live with that. If you didn't sleep after Tuesday night, reflect on that. You don't have to vote for this, she added, just shortly before she called those who support the measure weak. Kavanaugh also claims that those who supported the measure allowed themselves to be bought by the governor. No. Republican lawmakers wrangled just enough votes to end a filibuster and pass the bill with both measures. Governor Pillen, who pushed the bill and met with various lawmakers to shore up support, has promised to sign it into law. The 12-week abortion ban is a measure, has expectation for the bill wouldn't allow transgender people under 19 years old to undergo gender surgery, with a few exceptions. I don't think it should be no exceptions under 19. I think you should be even older than 19. Tell you the truth. But you don't know what you want to do at 19. But since you could enlist in the Army and do all these other things, okay, 19 is a reasonable age. The state chief medical officer, a political appointee who is currently an ear, nose, and throat doctor, would set rules for puberty blockers and hormone therapies for transgender minors in the state. There will be some exceptions for minors who were already receiving treatments before the ban was enacted. Several Republicans voiced approval for the measures during the debate, including that Senator Steve Erdman, and who drew inconsistencies in the arguments made by the Democrat. Saying abortion is healthcare is like saying being blank is lovemaking. I can't say the other word. Friday debate was briefly stopped by when protesters in the chamber balcony stood and yelled obscenities at the conservative lawmakers while throwing what appears to be bloody tampons on the floor. As lawmakers, that's disgusting. Why would you do that? This is what I'm talking about. These are people. Look at these people. She's part of that crowd, probably not married, but you're not operating in the right frame of mind. As lawmakers began voting, chants of shame, 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 shame could be heard coming from the outside of the chambers. At least 6 people were arrested at Nebraska's state capitol's building after lawmakers passed the bill. At least 17 states have enacted laws restricting or banning transgender procedures, hormones, and therapies for minors, and proposals are pending before the governors of Texas and Missouri. Medical groups and advocates claim such restrictions are further marginalized transgender youth and threatening their health. North Carolina also passed a 12-week abortion ban this week among the slew of restrictions enacted in the states after the U.S. Supreme Court last struck down the 1973 Roe v. Wade ruling that established a nationwide right to abortion. 14 states now have bans throughout pregnancy. Nebraska currently bans abortion around 20 weeks and is one of the multiple states that has recently passed abortion and transgender laws. Last month, a proposed 6-week ban failed to advance. So, what I was saying, you being the lawmaker, you had a time to speak and lay out your points. But instead, you chose to chant and not present your argument. And to me, you're chanting and screaming. People are saying shame, shame, shame during the time when they're voting and throwing tampons. This is childlike behavior. Someone tell me something different. To me, you're having a temper tantrum because you can't get your way. And when kids can't articulate what they're trying to say, they usually fall out and have a temper tantrum. When they can't get their way, they fall out. That's what you just exhibit here. A temper tantrum. Like, look at this lady's face. She looks really not there. Like something is misfiring in her head. I'm not going to rag on this. I'm not going to talk about it too long, but I wanted you to guys see this. So put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I am sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.